Hello, my name is Alex Davis and welcome to the Audi of Wichita showroom, where just beside me you'll notice a brand new electric car. Well, slightly brand new. This one is brand new. This is the Audi e-tron S, and not in Sportback form. We have two forms for this vehicle, the Sportback and then the standard SUV. So we're going to go through a couple of fun things about this electric offering from Audi and how it differs from a couple electric offerings that they have. But as always, we will start off in the front. So the e-tron, this version, was one of the first electric cars that Audi launched. Now, of course, you have the e-tron GT and the Q4 models, but this was its first venture into full electric. And this one, being the S, will be the three-motor car. So you have two in the back and then one up front. So one for each wheel out back, which makes torque vectoring possible. Starting off in the front, very unique Audi front end. So we'll have some adaptive LED headlights with some running lights along the sides, and then a rather large blacked out Audi grille. This one does have the black optics package, but the rings are in silver. I think that's a nice touch. Again, when the rings get blacked out, you can't quite tell what kind of car it is all the time, so I like that. But I do like this rather large black grille, and of course your S badge just there. Metallic gray paint goes over the hood, and I want to show you what's under this hood here really quick, because while of course electric cars do not have an engine, Audi made rather interesting use of this front storage space. So under the front hood, get it slid over and up. So you'll have some electrical components over here. Under here, of course, your headlight washers, fluid, but then under here is where you're going to stow your charging cables. So they can be organized within this nice little carpet-lined and LED lit bin, rather than just having them strewn about the trunk, or even worse, underneath the trunk lining. So if you store anything, you can't get to your electrical components. So very nice to have charging just there, but that'll latch closed, and then simply close this again with a double latch system for some added security. Moving along the side of the e-tron, some rather large and sporty and aggressive kind of RS spider wheels, really. So some matte gray wheels there in 22-inch form. And then right here, this is going to be your plug. So if you press that button, and of course the vehicle wasn't on, this kind of peels down in a rather nice way. Moving along the side, though, a traditional SUV shape with some matte black roof rails, a panoramic sunroof, and lots of seating in the back. But before we get into the back of the vehicle, of course, we want to sit up front and play around with all the new features and a couple of cool things that this e-tron S has to offer. Getting into the e-tron is, of course, very simple. It is an SUV, so you have a little bit higher ground clearance, but getting in and out is very manageable. You can, of course, manipulate your seats as well as your steering column electronically, and so you can save that. You have two driver memory settings. They're down here, so a little bit out of the way, which I find rather odd, but it's down here, and of course not to mess with the beautiful design of the doors. So you'll have this leather with Alcantara, some LED lighting strips, and then some more soft touch leather with deviated stitching here and running across the dash. Wonderful e-tron detailing up here and a bit of texture running through here. Audi dashes, of course, are very modern looking with a lot of curves and cuts and edges, and this screen display here is wonderful as well. And then, of course, you have that trailing ambient lighting running through the vehicle, about 7 different colors you can choose from. I chose blue. I think it looks rather nice on the inside of these cars. But you have the Audi MMI touchscreen, very responsive, very easy to get along with, of course. And then let's go to CarPlay and see if it's still activated. We'll go to connected devices here really quick, and CarPlay. My phone is sat just down here in the center console. We'll get to that in just a second, but a wonderful, nice, large touchscreen for Apple CarPlay. It does take up the full width of the screen, but you still, of course, have your Audi shortcut buttons over here, so it's very easy to get to other things within the vehicle. So, for example, I want to go to my vehicle settings. This is the fun stuff. This is where Audi engineers and designers come together rather nicely. So we're going to go to light and visibility and exterior lighting, and then we'll go to entry and exit lighting. And you can choose what your lighting looks like when you get in and out of the vehicle. So for right now, it looks like diagonal is chosen, but this will be the kind of design that your LED lights will put on the ground or on the wall in front of you. So you have split, you have Cosmos, origami, which is really cool, and then Skyline is the other one that we haven't seen yet. But you have entry lighting, and then exit lighting. So when you get done with your drive, perhaps you'd like to see the Cosmos display or the origami or diagonal, which I think is one of my favorites. Just a lot of intricacy. But again, quirky stuff. that Audi does, but I think they have a really wonderful engineering and design department that work very, very well together. With some modern vehicles, you'll notice that the engineers kind of take over and the designers are a little bit snuffed when it comes to the fun stuff like this. But Audi has always worked very, very well with their engineers and their designers together to create an absolutely wonderful and memorable product. But super easy to get along with. You have your touch screen that's super nice up here, as well as down here, which is going to be all your climate control settings. So you have AC, AC Eco, or AC off, and then you can scroll across here and manipulate your temperatures with a scroll, or if you want to more fine tune it, you can simply tap, and that's on both sides. So whatever you'd like to do there, as well as your fan speeds up and down. Again, a simple scroll. Very easy to get along with, even though it is a touch screen. So one of the better applications I've seen of touch screen climate control. You have your drive mode selector down here as well, where you can scroll through your dynamic, individual, auto, comfort, and then efficiency. And then you will have range mode, of course, being that this is an electric vehicle. You'll have a range mode, which will take your air conditioning into mere suggestions rather than actual seriousness. So depending on the range that you have left, it'll do what it can with regard to your AC and heating controls. You have seat controls here as well for 3-stage heating. And then here, this kind of options button, you'll have your option to select your heated steering wheel, to sync them, AC max, what have you. So a lot of very nice options, and I love that these two screens work together. Down here, you'll have your traction control, your front and rear fog, and then your parking lights as well. So a little ding will let me know that I'm about to activate my parking lights and sensors. So up front, you'll have your orange bars letting you know where the vehicle is going. You'll, of course, have your top-down view, and the particularly cool one will be for your wheels. So you have your left wheel, that door is open over there, but you'll have your left front wheel, and then your driver rear wheel. So very easy to get along with. And then 3D mode, which is, again, very, very cool. I do wish that they would do something like BMW does to show your actual car, but again, we might just not have caught up to that yet. But that will be coming hopefully very, very soon, because I love seeing my actual spec of the car on the 3D. But that's parking sensors in the new Audi e-tron S. Speaking of S, down here you will have a stamped leather section here, which is rather nice to hold your hand. And then a different way, yet again, a different way of figuring out how you're going to put it in reverse and drive. So if I put my foot on the brake and go down, that will be drive. Up twice will be reverse, which of course will be your backup cameras. And there's a whirring noise happening outside the vehicle as well. So kind of their sport essence sound, if you will. And then park is just going to be right there. In the middle, this open void will be where you're going to have your cup holders. You can close and open your cup holders. My phone is set down here, and then you have a 12-volt charger as well. And then inside your storage compartment, your arm here, there's a little bit of storage, not too much, but just enough for a couple of tissues or whatever you have that's a little bit smaller, and 2 USB-C charging ports just inside here. On the left, over by the driver, there is a very deep pocket over here that my entire forearm fits in. So if you want more storage, it's right there. No storage underneath the center console here like a couple of other EVs, but that's all right. You have ample amounts of storage right here in front of you in your armrest, and then the forearm void over here. And of course you have your glove box. Rather odd shape for the glove box, but it's super deep, so you can shove things in there as well, and you do have a pen holder there for executives and realtors. Up above, a nice headliner in black with a large panoramic sunroof, and then a couple of buttons up here to configure your lighting controls. But a very, very easy entertainment kind of situation to get used to. And then, of course, your Audi digital cockpit. Again, these are very common in a lot of Audis nowadays. Almost every single one has it. But you can scroll through. You have, of course, your range, 246 posted miles, your date and time, consumption, your memories, as well as your traffic signs. And you can change anything that you want to on the main screen over here, of course, with your phone connectivity and navigation. And if you switch your view, those peel away and you'll have rather large navigation or phone connectivity or radio or your range and traffic signs. So super easy to get along with. I've always loved Audi's technology because it is very much like Apple's. It's very intuitive. Everything is where you expect it to be. But let's see if everything is where you expect it to be in the back seats of this Audi e-tron S. Back seats of the Audi e-tron S. Rather comfortable, lots of headroom, and of course lots of knee room here. I do have 4-zone climate control in this model, so I can configure my fan speed, my temperature, all of that, and I have heated outboard seats along this quilted leather. Of course, no transmission tunnel, which means that sitting in the middle is actually not that bad, just no headroom. But you have plenty of legroom. If this seat was pushed forward as the driver's seat is, this seat is actually rather far back. You'd have plenty of knee room here. But as far as fitting 3 adults in the back, probably not likely, but this is very, very nice. And if you close this, a lot of texture and ambient lighting here, some Alcantara, more leather, very, very large storage bins down here on the door. And then as an option, you do have your sun visors here, which is rather nice for children, so you don't have to get those ugly ones that just kind of tack on to your window. In the center, you will have an armrest with a cup holder and a bit of storage there. And then if you wanted to, you can fold down this middle seat all the way and shove things through a little bit longer, skis, snowboards, maybe a bike wheel or something, but still have 4 people in the vehicle. So you're not just putting down all the seats in the back if you don't have to. But that's a little bit of storage here and legroom and height here, of course, very, very nice. Let's check out the back and see what that looks like. The back of the Audi e-tron has some rather unique lights as well. So if we were to say unlock the vehicle, people behind you will see the nice sequential turn signals and super, super bright LEDs. And then this connecting light bar will be on at night with a couple of other fins. The lateral gills over there are also illuminated, but a very sporty rear end. The S model will have a bit of blacked out here with the black optics package. Otherwise, this is silver, and then a little bit more aggressive rear diffuser again to kind of set it apart from the regular non-S models. Opening the trunk, rather simple. Electric power gate is standard, and you can close and lock it from here. LED light up top, as well as some LED strips on the inside so you can actually see what you're doing at night. Storage under here, rather vast and large. You do have a space saver in this one, but a ton of storage down here, and this bin is actually removable. So if you wanted to put something in here and then remove it, you can do so without having to take everything out. You can just remove the bin. And then luggage net over here, and some rather luxurious and solid metal tie downs, just in case you need to tie anything down in the back. Get that closed once again, but there is the back end of the new Audi e-tron S. Thank you for joining me on this rather short and quick introduction into the Audi e-tron S. Do let anybody here know at Audi of Wichita if you have any questions about this model or any electric offering, or for that matter, any Audi vehicle that you might have interest in either purchasing or ordering. Thank you very much for taking the time, and enjoy the drive.